Always looking in the rear view, whether you ride dirty or not, in the rear view. You looking in the mirrors. We came from an environment that if you wasn't on point like that, that's your ass.
That's your ass, yeah. Real spit.
You done.
Yeah.
So
spit.
now, when people who didn't grow up with me see me move that way, it looks crazy to them. Like, bitch.
Hey, that's funny you mentioned that, man. I remember last year when the like it was really getting really bad with the jacket. Okay. Some SUV pulled up in front of me, and you know, with the gentrification, they got these little dividers right at the stoplight. These little, I don't know what they look like poles, but they really soft. You can move it, but
flexible stuff.
Yeah. So I remember the SUV stopped. The light turned green, but the SUV stopped in the middle of the intersection. And I was almost close to where those little dividers were, but I was backing up just in case this SUV tries something. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an instinct I have. You know, they didn't do nothing, but my instinct said, all right, I better stay right here in case some funny shit going on. But that comes from, you know, being in the town for years. You know, it built me like that.
So that's always crazy to me, because being a kid around my father, and once again, him being from the South, never had to deal with that. He never rode around with that type of paranoia. Even in Oakland, he just lived his life.
Right.
But me going through all that trauma as a child and growing up to adult in Oakland, it's different for me.
Yeah.
And they still with the business if you bring it to them.
Yeah. That part.
You bring it to them, they still with the business.
That's what I learned with that.
Yeah. I remember Too Short saying that, and I was just like, damn, that does summarize Oakland and why you have to move a certain way, because you never know who the killer is.
Yep.
So we get to the movie where 7 years later, Doughboy is having a welcome home party. So, you know, we're to assume he went to prison. And I think he does say he went to prison. Yeah. And they having a party in his mom's backyard. And his mom stops Trey and tells him to talk to him. You know, could you talk some sense into him? Maybe what you got can rub off on him. She says it just like that. And so he says he's going to talk to him. But you can instantly tell that the way Doughboy sees Trey, he sees Trey as a sucker.